Hi, my name is Jeremy Cianella, and I'm a Senior Solutions Architect with AWS. In this video, I'm going to discuss AWS Step Functions and how they can be used in security incident response in your AWS cloud environment. Let's get started. So, what are AWS Step Functions? Step Functions are a workflow orchestration engine. They provide the building blocks to help you orchestrate your workflows to meet your needs. A workflow can be as simple as a sequence of tasks, or as complex as having multiple logic branches requiring parallel executions. Second, Step Functions integrate with an ever-growing number of AWS services directly using their APIs, and it lets you coordinate those executions. You can create EC2 instances, invoke Lambda functions, or write branch logic without having to write a single line of code. Next, Step Functions provides a drag-and-drop interface allowing you to visualize the process flow. Using Workflow Studio, you can select the actions from hundreds of AWS API calls and states, allowing you to do things like run tasks in parallel, process multiple files, or wait a predetermined time. Then, built into Step Functions are intrinsic functions to facilitate transformations of data between actions. This includes things like splitting strings, manipulating arrays, and math operations. And then finally, Step Functions are serverless. They run as a managed service, which provides a highly available, automatically scalable pay-per-use service that integrates with AWS Identity and Access Management, or IAM, and can use VPC endpoints to keep all of the traffic within your VPC for your security purposes. Next, let's take a look at how Step Functions can automate your incident response. Using Step Functions, let's take a look at how you can automate incident response. First, you can provide an immediate response to an event. Using EventBridge, you can capture events from Security Hub or other security services to trigger a step function. Then, using Step Functions, you can automate the steps in your runbooks, things like resource isolation, restriction of access, and disposal of suspected resources. Next, you can then notify your stakeholders when an event occurs using native integrations with SNS. This means you can send emails or integrate with other notification providers. Then, some actions may require approval before action is taken. With the above notifications, you can request a review and gain approvals before continuing the step function. And then finally, Step Functions can catch unexpected errors in your workflow. You can take additional action or send out a notification. So let's take a look at an example step function that's going to isolate an EC2 instance that is suspected of being compromised. So here we are in Step Functions Workflow Studio. This gives us a visual representation of our state machine. This state machine is expected to be triggered using EventBridge based on an event in guard duty. The instance name is passed in and the step function takes it from there. First, the step function gathers information about the instance, including information about the attached EBS volumes and the subnets that it's running in. Then, instance termination is disabled. After that, the step function is isolated by removing it from its autoscaling group. There you can see that a conditional statement checks whether the instance is in an autoscaling group before attempting to remove it. Next, we run a parallel state. We start by creating a forensic instance in order to review information in the instance being isolated. In the same parallel state, we begin to snapshot the existing EBS volume and create a new volume from that snapshot. And there you'll notice that we use wait states to make sure that the asynchronous actions are complete before continuing. Once both parallel steps are complete, we attach the new volume to the forensic instance. Grant ingress access to the isolated instance from the forensic instance, and then tag the isolated instance as quarantined. This is just a small example of what can be accomplished with step functions for incident response. Thank you, and have a great day.